Hello and welcome to Dell's Gaming, and we are in the From the Depths campaign once again to have some more battles with the enemy faction, Deepwater Guard, and we are currently overlooking the construction of the new Bolas, which is our cruiser. It's about 85% done. But there's still a fair bit of resources required and some large items before we can really give it a sea trial and see what it's like. The resource zone that we captured has been fully depleted, and the resources were brought back to build what we have so far of the Bolas at the main base, which is the only place where I do my building because reasons. So what we need to do is gather some more resources. Now, the Deepwater Guard occasionally do attack, but that's not enough to really give enough resources, so we're going to go on the attack. With the resources, as well as building the Bolas, I've also managed to create and bring in a few of the frigates. Now, one of the frigates is now joined the #1 attack fleet over here with the monitors. So it's now an escort for the monitor fleet, and I separated one monitor and 2 frigates up here to be a new little fleet, high-speed fleet, to be able to basically take on these northern squares. Now, they're not going to do it on their own, they're going to do it with the long-range Air Force, the fighters and the bombers, because they've got plenty of fuel. These are special versions which have a high fuel capacity, slightly lower performance but high fuel capacity to be able to travel a long distance to battle. So the aim is they will help, or all three will join in each of these fights. We'll go through the 7, 14, 5, possibly over here into the 35, these two 35s. We might eventually also look at the 112, but not maybe with this group on its own. At the same time, we're going to do a bit of triggering with the southern fleet here, the carrier fleet, the #1 attack fleet, which is the Monitor and the Wasp, and the Scavengers, and they're going to basically trigger the 15 here and this 37, basically just to put the enemy on the defensive, and then hopefully we might be able to push up into this 112 as well. I'm determined to try and take this 112. It's going to be a very laggy battle. We might even have got the Bolas in by now, because at each time there's a battle, the Clipper here will go around and pick up all of the resources that are gathered and taken back to the main base to carry on building the Bolas. That's the plan. And all I now need is the enemy forces to agree to my plan and follow the idea I have. Now, as normal, it doesn't always work that way, but that's why it's a game. So anyway, now into the battle, so I will see you, hopefully, in a successful battle with a little bit more of this Bolas being built. It's a big ship. Plenty of guns, more guns, and thank you for some of the build suggestions I've had. I will be taking them forward in future videos where I think they're a good idea, so keep them up if you've got some good build ideas. I have been working on quite a few ships, I've got to say, in my spare time, but I will video versions of them when we come to build them. Anyway, let's get on to and blow some stuff up, because that's the other half fun of this game. And after a successful campaign in the north part of the map, I'm now sitting on the bridge of the Bolas, which we've managed to get spawned in and into a fleet now. So it's just waiting here to go into it's fairly much its first major battle. We had a little skirmish on the way up, but this will be its first real test. If we have a look at the map, where the just to go through, I'm sure it'll be in the video, but the northern rovers cleaned out the top part of the map reasonably well. We then took over sent the aircraft into take out the village and the Falkenheims in this little land area here, and we've now sent the Bolas with the first attack fleet. So it's got what was the monitors and a couple of wasps, the wasp and the Brembics was support and escort for it. And then we've also got our first air fleet. We've also got a support wasp frigate as well, because it did have a problem, not a problem, but it was close in the end, with a coffin nail that fairly much did a lot of damage, because it just basically, the ships, they did take it out with the fighters, but they needed some sort of extra little bit of oomph once it got in close. Anyway, that's one of those possibly escort ships, which is one of the things that someone had actually suggested. So now the northern fleet and the long-range bombers are now protecting the south, and I'm going to go into this 112. Now, this is another little problem that this fleet needs to work out. It doesn't have a very good vision range. We rely on the patrol ship, but when it's not on station in the area, we have a very low vision. So we're going to be going in here fairly blind and just hope it works. So we're going to send in the attack fleet and have the carrier just behind, and we'll join in and bring its bombers and other ships in at long range. Anyway, this could be fun, and it'll be the first major battle for the Bolas. So all well and good, we should be in a battle soon. And that was a costly little battle, but we did win. but it was closer than I would have expected. Those enemy bombers came in and really did a number on the Bolas before we could get in and finish them off eventually. The fleet air arm in the end, and actually the frigates, I think, did very well, keeping fire coming in at the Barracuda and the aircraft, and eventually won, but it was a lot closer than I would have liked. I think most ships and aircraft got damaged. The Bolas really got pounding, but then that's what it is. It is a bit of a damage pinata. It is there to take the damage, and the other ships then can continue to harass and take out the enemy whilst they just try to whittle down the Bolas. So in that way it worked, but it was close. So we're now going to bring the fleet back to repair, rearm, refuel, because that was a fair bit of damage there, and learn from those mistakes. We're going to have to rebuild a little bit, but we got rid of that 112, which is good, and we've cleared out quite a bit of area. We've increased our fleet size and capacity quite a little bit, quite considerably. So I think next I just need to look at what we need to support our fleet. I've got an idea. A couple of things. One, we need a radar aircraft for the fleet air arm, the carrier, so they got a bit of radar coverage rather than relying on the home patrol. We also might make this one big fleet rather than two separate ones, but we'll have a think about that. Make it a carrier fleet. But I think I like the idea of the carrier fleet maybe separate from the attack fleet. So we'll have a think about that one. Anyway, yeah, completed. A little bit touch and go near the end. There was a lot of lag with that number of ships, aircraft, and all the rest. I'm sure I've had some fun trying to do the video. I think even sped up. I think it will look like normal time speed, but that was fairly low. I didn't go into degraded mode, but I have a fairly good machine, but it struggled with that number of aircraft and ships and just sheer blocks, which is a pity, but I like big battles. That's good. Anyway, until next time, leave any comments about what to build, what I should do next. But until then, keep playing the game and have fun.